Hello, hello, good morning. Just waiting to check the connection. Yeah, it's all good. Hello, Rui. Let me see. How do I invite? Invite. Rui?
Hello.
Hello, Rui. How are you?
I'm doing very good. How are you, my friend?
I am good. Welcome. Thank you so much for accepting this invitation. It's always a pleasure to talk to you, especially about crystals.
Yes, I'm pretty excited to be here. I want to thank you for this opportunity to be here in this amazing space, right? So, thank you so much for that.
Thank you, Rui. I would like you to introduce you just a little bit because, well, what I believe is that you are a great therapist in so many areas, but I know you love so much to work with your crystals. So if you wanted to introduce yourself a little bit, I think you are better than me.
Yes, thank you. My name is Rui. I'm energy healer practitioner. So inside of my practices, I work a lot with crystals, with the power of crystals. I think this is the reason you invite me. And beside that, I participate a lot in familiar constellation and ancient healing. I like a lot to talk about how our energy and our thoughts and everything around us can be the medicines of our lives. And with this, bring more joy, healing, and good energy for our lives.
Beautiful, Rui. It's really, really nice that you're here. Today, guys, we wanted to bring to you a couple of, I don't know, common questions and a little bit of more understanding on how can crystal actually help us achieve a higher frequency. Hello, hello, the Mano Park. So, Rui, would you like, I don't know, to start sharing with us a little bit of your understanding on how you think that the crystals like help you? I know you have a beautiful collection and I know you
Yes.
truly work with your crystals. So this is something I always say because a lot of people that are starting in this journey, working with these elements, they ask me, but is this something I just have to believe? Or what are the right crystals? And is this right or is this wrong? So if you want to give like a little overview on, how do you work with crystals and so on, I
Okay.
think that would be super nice.
Well, what I wanted to do before we start, I just want us to take like 10 seconds just to connect a little bit. If you are here or you are watching the recording, just thinking any crystal come to your mind, just connect with your higher energy. Just give one deep breathing, let it go. Yes. I think this is wonderful. So we get a little bit more online of what we're going to be talking here today. So, well, what I think is, look at this baby. I love it. I have like so many. I will show you guys soon. So for me, I took a long path to trying to understand a little bit about energy and a little bit about how I feel so attracted for crystals because definitely for me it was a big change. I always, since young I always deal with crystals, but I think with time I started like organizing more my thoughts and acquiring a little bit more knowledge about these beautiful things. And for me, the first thing I get crazy about crystals is to remember crystals are water. They are created with like leaking through the caves or under the earth, like a lot of years and years and years to start creating just beautiful pieces. I like to talk a lot about the has this guy. His name is Manamoto. He's a Japanese guy. He talks a lot about how the molecules of water uh, influence our lives, right? If you vibrate in a good energy inside a water drop, this water will have a different frequency as well. So I think through the years, when the water was dripping and they mix with the different things from the earth, we start creating different types of crystals. This is basically just talking about not in my spiritual view of crystals, because I really believe crystals are gifts from the universe. They help us to align our energy in a better way. But with this, since we are humans and we live in the duality world here, I think a lot of people create a lot of mystifications about what is what is the crystals. This crystal is gonna harm me. This crystal gonna help me. This crystal is gonna work for me. How this process kind of work? In my practices and in my beliefs, I believe the crystals are here to heal, to transform, to elevate, to align our energy. So I don't believe crystals actually can do any harm to nobody. Of course, we always need to take care when we're talking about this, because if you are using like too much crystals close to too much okay, some crystals you're gonna put close to your head, or just needs to be a little bit more careful when you are dealing with crystals, but they will not cause you any harm. You know, they just are here to bring beautiful things for life.
I can I say something, Rui? Because
Yes.
with what you just said, this is so interesting. Because I was also really drawn into crystals since I was like really young, and obviously I did not understand anything, so I went out to acquire knowledge as well. And one thing that I got a lot is about this people asking me a lot, can crystals harm me? Or how does that go? So what I truly like, and through my researches, what I truly figure out and discover is this. The crystal, they vibrate. So everything that exists is energy, period. So the crystals, they vibrate in this frequency, right? Because energy is measured in frequency. And there are different frequencies, of course, that we can tune into. So that's how I believe they truly help us, because their molecules are the most organized molecules there are in the planet, much more than us humans, animals, because somehow whatever we believe, it becomes whatever we think, it does change our frequencies. So that's how the crystals always help me restoring and reaching the level of crystals. However, what I wanted to tell you was something really interesting. Can crystals cause me harm? I also believe that they cannot cause you harm. However, always remember, it's important that we remember this, which is the crystals will vibrate in that energy. And our understanding of what is good or what is bad for us is just our perception of this reality, this segregation of the mind, or this is good and this is bad. This is a human thing. So for example, whenever I started in this world, I wanted like, oh my God, I need this crystal, I need this crystal to help me with that and this and that. And as you know, my house is like almost a crystal shop. But the interesting thing was, we have to realize what we actually are asking those crystals. Because as you said, when we place one right here, so I was literally sleeping and I was wanting to do all these healings through whatever I was going, right? So I had my nightstand full of crystals. And literally there was a time that I started, Rui, to wake up every night, 3 a.m., 4 a.m., super agitated, and having these vivid dreams that, by the way, I was asking to have because I was asking answers, right? And I was working with crystals that actually would help me uh, get those answers. But that's the whole thing. Literally, whenever I started Rui, I was like, oh my God, I can't deal with this anymore. And I was going nuts. Like, I can't deal with this information. That for me was something that I saw like too much. And I'm like, wait a second. I am asking, and I have all these crystals in my nightstand. If I need a break, let me put this crystal somewhere else. So it gives me a little break so I can go to my journey, through my journey, that crystals are actually helping me from a different point. So I think that's what I truly believe, which is just be aware what you're placing your crystals, how you're working with your crystals. If you're asking for their power and you are right there with this beautiful babies right next to you, that's the only thing I can think, oh, this can be harmful. Absolutely not. You are the sovereign being. Just be aware. Oh, you're not sleeping. Check out your crystals. What are the crystals that you have around? You know,
Yes.
this type of thing. So I
And
wanted to
I
share
think
that
it's
with you.
I think it's always about you adjust the things in your favor as well, because like you said, I the crystals has internal geometry. Bless you.
Thank
Bless
you.
you. And this internal geometry, of course, after you do a little bit more study over the chakras, you start realizing our chakras, each one has a different geometry as well. And over that thinking, you start realizing how you can use these different geometries to align your different geometries in your chakras as well. And when you feel like, I always go a lot through feeling, right? If you grab something you are not feeling good, this always means something to you as well. But I don't think crystals are bringing nothing different than love, joy, and truth. It's
Yeah.
pretty it's pretty hard, it's pretty objective, but if you have any question and you a doubt of something, I always recommend people to grab a crystal, connect with your question, and the crystal will give you the answer right away. You know,
Absolutely.
I work with a method called cardinal method of life connection. And this is actually what's giving me the kick to start working with crystals and understand about crystals much more than I was before. And after I start understanding how powerful crystals are to align our chakras and our energy, this actually started changing a lot of things in my life. So I always was in favor. Then we use first in ourselves. We bring the healing to ourselves, and after that, we will bring all this healing to the world and see how the things work from the future and all that. And so far, it's working very good. So I really appreciate all my crystals. But I just want to bring one thing I was reading a little before our live, and the American Indians, they have a lot of talking about crystals, where they believe we all beings here in this world, we all are in the same level. So they always say it's like about the stone people, the animals people, the two legs, the four legs, and they always do a lot, the planes, they always do a lot of references over that, and they always classify everybody kind of in the same level. It's like humans are no more, crystals are no more. Everybody is in the same frequency, different frequency, but in the same level of evolution. Each one has a different thing to do here on Earth. So for me, when I start actually realizing, because I don't believe we own crystals, right? This is one thing. I don't believe we own crystals. I think the crystals, they get aligned with our energy and they come to us, they jump in our field. And I believe the colors of the crystals are important, is amazing healing for the soul. You know, it's not for only about the molecular level, but I think our soul needs this too. I believe our soul is water. So what I just started saying in the beginning as well, crystals are made of water. So I think this is a great thing. So now I have a couple questions for you, Rafa.
Okay.
I wanted you to tell a little bit what you do too, because I believe I'm gonna have some people from my side here who wants to know you, wants to know a little bit about your work. Can you tell me a little bit?
Yes. Firstly, I want to say something that I really, really admire on you. All the time that we are together, all the time that we talk, you actually always come to me and you say, "Feel it." I was here and then I felt this. The same thing you just said. I grab the crystal and I feel it and I ask the questions and so on. And this is such an important part of my work because I keep repeating, we are so much in the mind, so much that literally the work I do, which is self development, literally. And what do I mean by self development? Well, we need to do self observation work in order to develop. That's what I believe. We carry so much things, and it's literally just letting our persona drop down, literally altogether, and start living from our authentic self, from our own truth. And for that, one thing that is extremely important for us to understand is we need to be able to go back into feeling. Because some people, they believe mistakenly that a couple of people are qualified or have this talent to feel things, the sensitives and so on. And truly, it's a field. You are energy. Whenever you open yourself, we will be able, for example, to work with the crystals, to feel your crystals. And I always say it's okay whenever like people are starting to work with crystals, for example. They're like, oh yes, but what do I do? Is this right? Is this wrong? How do I charge? How I don't charge? And so on. And I always say, I give them like a couple of options. Oh, you could charge your crystal like this, you could go that way. However, I always say it's important that you create a relationship with your crystal. You start with thinking that you have to do this or that. But again, start listening to what your crystal is saying to you, and this is one part of my work, which is working with crystals that, as you know, I absolutely love. I do have a crystal shop that actually it's not like a regular crystal shop where, for example, you go there and you choose your crystals. It's much more like me putting these crystals together. I do like kits, so it's putting the crystals together with plants, suggesting a ritual. And the whole thing about this business is about me being able to bring you some knowledge that I acquire throughout the years in courses or much more in experiences, in order for us to actually start working with our crystals until we are able to feel this thing that you say so naturally. Ella, hold your crystals, feel it, ask the question. How many times, you told me that? So
Yeah,
this is
I
one.
love that. I really think like crystals, they cut all the bullshit. They go like right there and they bring us all this knowledge and transcending thing. I know Jason makes a question here. Let me see if I can find. I don't think I can. Can you back in the question of Jason?
Oh yeah, I just found it. Can you find the same connection with regular rocks? Because I found cool rocks that I find that kind of feel something with, and I take it home.
Jason, you can. You definitely can. I have one here. Let me grab here. It's like it's a totally river stone, and I love this stone. I feel it's not only the semi-pressure crystals, they actually bring energy. Where I believe all the stones, they bring energy as well. Of course, I always say if you are going to a sacred place and you just take this stone from there, I always feel a lot, because I don't think it's a very good energy. Of course, everything is inside your mind, and you took energy without, you took a crystal or a stone for sacred place without you have any authorization or something like that. I normally, after so many times working with crystals, I feel when they want to come with me and when they want to work with me. And talking about the American Indians, they use a lot of normal rocks in their healing process, you know? So this is great. You can grab any stone, and I am pretty sure they will help you to align no matter what type of crystals they are.
Absolutely, Rui. And this goes exactly with what you were saying, which is the crystal, the stone, it jumps in your field. So that goes with the talk that we were saying, like, people always ask me, which stones should I work with? What if the crystal breaks? What if I cannot find the crystal? And we talked about this so many times, Rui, and I wanted to hear actually your opinion about that, because this is exactly that. If the stone is calling you, and obviously, as you said, you need permission and so on, it's not just about, oh, I like it, so I'm taking it. No, it's literally, it's nature, in this case, calling you to work with that energy. Same way when the crystal disappears. So it's done making the healing process for you. That's what I believe. Literally, it's about all about feeling, right? That's what we were talking here. So if you want to say what you believe um, about this, if you lose a crystal, if you break a crystal, which crystal to buy, because that's the whole thing, to call it, right? They call you.
Okay, I always get just questions a lot about which crystal should start or where it should go, what I should do, and always that. I always recommend to people who start with the clear quartz. I have a couple here. I have just ones in square. I like different types of crystals. I have this Lemurian one right here. The Lemurian is basically quartz, but they have like in three faces. They have this looks like the Matrix thing, right? So they normally say you can meditate with the Lemurians. You always can keep touching and reading all this. So I always recommend people to start working with the clear quartz. It's just because I feel the clear quartz is like so pure and just connect us with our higher self and just help us align in a different perspective than the other crystals. Of
I
course,
wanted,
I love all of them, but I really believe my first thing would be go for a clear quartz.
I wanted to say something beautiful about the clear quartz, which is that a really easy stone for us to program. So I think this is a great suggestion, honestly, besides being a super uh, easy energy kind of to connect. Also, the user can program that crystal. So this is super nice because if you're just starting and I don't know, you will need a physical healing, or you want to have to open your seventh chakra, your connection to the divine, for instance, this crystal will absolutely help you transmute these low vibration energies, and also is programmable. So I absolutely love that choice, Rui. I
Yes, no,
love
I
like
think this is a
clear quartz.
this is definitely a good way to start. Of course, we know, as I know you work a lot with the sacred feminine energy. And all these energies you work a lot of connected with the woman power and this new woman divine who is coming again back to this world. Thank you for this, by the way. Thank you for this work. It's very important. I feel it's a different crystals coming to the field as well. Can you talk a little bit about what you think is the relationship the crystals can help someone to work in the divine feminine and the divine masculine as well? Like, I think this is both energies is going on.
Absolutely, Rui. So I wanted to say first, so this is another part of my work, which is, well, as of right now, I'm working truly more at this point with women. The reason why is both of us, man and woman, have the masculine and the feminine energy inside. Literally, is the same energy with different polarities. However, in the society that we live, the way it's structured, it's really common that we actually always try to tap into the masculine energy. And by that, I'm not relating to men. I'm talking about the energy of action, the energy of having a goal, organizing yourself in order to reach that goal. While the feminine energy is the energy of being, is the energy of instinct, Is energy of you looking actually inside for you to manifest from the inside out. So that's one of the parts that absolutely. So we have to understand that everyone has the feminine and the masculine energy. However, it's kind of easier for us because it is what is applauded outside to have this masculine energy all the time. How many times we feel guilty when we are not doing nothing, when we are just being, when we are like working with our dreams, for example. So the reason why I work a lot in my feminine energy is because of that. So me and all these women, you know, and also any man for that instance, because we have, as you said, the sacred masculine and the sacred feminine. These are energies that we are invited, in my belief, which is just the same thing, just different polarities. We are invited to balance them. So one crystal that I absolutely love for the feminine energy, well, I love, again, it's not that I have one favorite crystal, it's literally like, what do I need in that moment? Because, for example, working on my feminine energy can come in different ways. For example, I want to tap more into my intuition. For instance, let's say I'm going to work with a specific crystal. I want to be able to, for my mind to shut up for a second, because my mind is constantly in my masculine energy. You have to do this, you have to do this, you have to organize this. So I'm going to work with a different crystal. However, one that I absolutely feel that it really helps me in all levels balance my feminine energy is called chrysocolla.
Okay.
It's beautiful. I love it, but I am moving, by the way. So, and I was telling you yesterday, he's like, and I'm like, listen, my babies, my crystals were the first thing I packed. I actually, it's the only thing I packed with care. So they are literally all in the bubbles and they are ready in the box. And the rest of the house is a mess. And Rui started laughing. I'm like, well, how am I going to open all my crystals? So I cannot show you here, but you can just type it in. And it's a beautiful blue. I don't know if you have the chrysocolla with you, Rui, but
No, I don't have these ones yet. I'm still working layer by layer and work on my feminine energy. I think in the beginning I was like very scared because I think men's they have this wrong perspective thinking they work in their feminine energy, this will transform them in women. And what is not true. I really think, and I can see today, how the feminine energy is to look to inside, is to calm, is to let it go, you know, it's always towards inside you. And this masculine energy is more like go, do it, believe, courage, and all this. And I actually like a couple years ago, if I start feeling this necessity to start looking to myself and to go deep inside my own big mystery to start balance these energies much better than I was doing before. So, but I really believe this is an onion, right? So always you have more layers and more layers and more layers to go
for sure.
deep inside through this knowledge.
And you know, it's interesting that you said, so first I want to, two things. You first said a man is always like, oh, I don't want to work on my feminine energy. This is so interesting. That's why I said in the beginning, you know, it's not related to man and woman. We could call the feminine energy and the masculine energy flower and rock. And literally this would help us so much, you know, passive energy and active energy.
Yeah.
So this would disassociate in our brain this thing about man and woman, which is always like a confusion. And Rui, it's interesting that you tell me that you're still working on this energy, because whenever I talk to you, whenever I feel you, literally, you all the time are like talking about feeling. And you go so much inside, you meditate so much that literally this is tapping into your feminine energy for sure. You are a person that actually makes your, and I know you, so you make your decisions a lot based on, I'm feeling this, I am sensing this is my instinct, and that's what I'm doing. So this is absolutely beautiful. Literally, I admire this so much on you, because this is what the feminine energy is about. Literally, going back to understanding something that our eyes, or something that the exterior world is not. You know, it's from the inside out, not from the outside in. So it's
Yes.
interesting that you say that, because I believe you are a person that it's so connected. Obviously, we can always like connect more, because we're here to evolve. You know, we
We
always have
never
a
stop,
chance.
right? I think we're gonna have 100 years, and we're gonna keep like going, 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 and all that. But the other thing I just wanna remember too is like how the, for example, did you already heard about the Andara crystals, petrified wood, obsidians? It's good to remember these ones, they don't have an internal geometry, but it's still they help a lot to align, right? Obsidian, what for me is a very feminine stone, and I feel like it's very strong. I feel people have a little scared of the obsidians as well, because I know how powerful she is. But I think the obsidian, especially the obsidian, is so good to bring the truth. For this, the obsidian is so strong. You know, if you don't want to bring the things or to surface, and you are not ready to deal with this, for example, don't work with obsidians as well.
Exactly. It,
And is
yeah.
how powerful these anamorphic other items they have. For example, the petrified wood. I think the petrified wood brings a lot of flow to life. So normally, if you have something stuck inside your life and you wanted to let it flow, I will recommend a petrified wood. I have a couple other crystals here. I just want to show to you, just to we keep the subject of this live, right? I have this amazing amethyst. It's beautiful. I love these ones. I have these ones I got from half a shop, and I love this green aventurine. This is so beautiful. I actually, if you let me, I kiss, I love all these stones. Like, it's so great and so nice to my life. I have this is a rainbow obsidian. We just talked about the obsidian is like right here. It's so beautiful as well. And well, and I want to make a question for you. What motivates you to work with crystals? Like, what do you think was your biggest motivation of that?
Well, to be honest, as I said, I was always drawn to crystals as a kid, because I found it beautiful and I would get and I love, but I would not really understand. But it's interesting, because even though I didn't understand rationally, I was working with the crystals, because I would get this and take with me. Look has an instinct. As a kid, I would get this. I would like, oh, I like it so much, and I would put it in my pocket and I'll go around. And it's interesting that whenever I grow up and I start like, wait a second, why do I like this so much? Why do I feel so good when I'm around this? And I start learning that. Well, then the whole world of things open to myself, because my biggest motivation is like this. I think the crystals, as you said, they are, in my opinion, they are helpers. They help us to tap into the energy, for example, of love, of healing. So whenever I gave you the example that I was going through something really, really hard for me in my life, and my mind was really confused. Literally, I would have 5 minutes of, this is what's going on. 5 minutes later, I'm like, and all my unconscious, like literally in things that didn't come to the surface yet, going nuts about the questions and the confusion that I had. And I would change the understanding. I was like, wait a second, I'm not in my center. And I start putting all these crystals and saying, listen, I need answers. I'm not seeing clearly. Please help me. And that's when I started working with these crystals in my dream work, literally, because this for me is super strong. I always receive so much messages on my dream. And I'm like, let me try with the help of crystals. And that's what I told you was absolutely insane. I would wake up like, it's like I was doing downloads, and I'm like, I have to write down, I cannot miss this information. And this went on and on for months. And I was like, wait a second. Ella, give a step back, breathe a little bit, because if you ask, the crystal can absolutely help you. So for example, I always love, I always carry some crystal with me. Doesn't matter if it's in a bracelet, if it is on my pocket, inside of me, little little things. Because let's say some days we wake up, we are humans. So some days we wake up, and today I was like, oh, I have so much to do, my masculine energy. I have all these people telling me, like, hey, you're missing to give me this and this and this. And I'm like going nuts. And I'm like, wait a second. Literally, I have to go back and understand how I'm going to proceed with this. So I need to tap into my intuition. Here I have my amethyst. Right here, I need harmony. So you work with crystals to help you achieve that frequency. So this is honestly my biggest motivation nowadays is they are allies. They are truly my allies that I'm like, I need to work with this one right now.
This is beautiful, and this is so nice to bring these allies to more people through your work and through your connection and everything. Just make me feel so happy, and I always like honor you for your work, and you have so much knowledge, and you are such a powerful healer, and definitely you have like my green card to like everybody who is looking for healing and wants to go deep to the soul. Please talk with Ella. She will bring you so much good insights about life and how you can be a better person and all that. So just to finish our live, because I will have a session probably in 5 minutes, I want to know from you what's coming next, what we can expect, what you bring into the world.
Well, Rui, hopefully we're gonna have our projects also into the world. But as of right now, I do have these kits, which is this shop, and it's important that I say that they all come with a QR code. That's where I share the knowledge on how to work with crystals, how to cleanse and charge them, what to do if they break or not. Obviously, just a little guide, you know, because the whole goal is for you to feel your crystal and hear to what the crystal is telling you. So I do have that, and I'm right now gonna I have a free masterclass that is called Woman's Map for a Balanced Life, coming up on February 24th. It's 100% free, 100% online, and if you're a woman here into this, I absolutely invite you to register, because you're going to learn a map in order to understand your feminine and masculine energy inside, and literally how to work with that in your favor. So work with all your faces in your favor, and not just like pushing through life. And by the way, it's not, I am saying it's for women, right? Because it's kind of easy when we work in that way, but Rui, you are absolutely invited, or any man for that instance that wants to hear this masterclass. You're just going to have to translate a little bit of terms. So whenever I tell you about, let's say, your period, you're going to work with water. You don't have to work with your period. You just work with water, because you are made of water. 70% of your body is made of water. So literally
we are
anything,
all under the moon influence as well. So
exactly. So
yeah.
the moon influences you. Absolutely. So how do you see the perception? How do you perceive your masculine and feminine energy inside? This is absolutely not just for women. It's just called that because women are much more like realizing, because they feel so disconnected from their essence that it's much easier for me to tell them, do you feel disconnected? And they're like, oh yes, absolutely. You know, so that's the whole point. But
I think everybody feels some point of disconnection in some point of their lives. For this, I think it's like crystals are the best thing, because they will align you with love, healing, and the truth. And this is very, very beautiful.
And the opportunity to evolve,
for your
right?
work.
The opportunity to evolve.
Yes.
That's what I truly believe. Crystals really help us in that level. Really.
Yes.
Really.
Yes.
So Rui, I want to thank you. I know you have to go. I want to thank you so much for this live.
You are welcome.
I hope one day we can do another one talking about chakras, because whenever we're together, that's what we talk about. We talk about energy. No,
yes,
actually,
please, let's do this more time.
Absolutely.
It would be wonderful to keep talking more about crystals. Actually, this is like, oh my God, I love to talk about that.
No, literally, we talk so much about this. Let's just make it alive.
Yeah,
that is it, because we're constantly talking
so
about
people
this.
can just join us and feel this amazing energy we will bring to everybody. Thank you for everybody being here.
Absolutely. And Rui, I really want to have one live with you about the extraterrestrials because you are the person that that shares so much knowledge about this with me, and I am super grateful. So
I will
I would love
love to
that.
talk about the stars.
Yes, absolutely. So thank you so much, Rui. I will see you soon. It was a
Yes.
pleasure, and I miss you.
Bye,
I hope to go
guys.
to your crystal beautiful house soon.
Yes. Well, everybody come join us. We are ready and we're expecting and ready to help you too. So have everybody a good day. And if you need, just text us, send message. We are here to help.
Perfect. Bye bye, Rui. Thank
Bye.
you.